Some people will go to Africa and they'll see elephants running in the wild, and that's the most wonderful thing in the world. As far as I'm concerned, I wish they were all there, but the reality and the truth is they're not. So since there are elephants in captivity, there are people that have to work them, and the people that work them should do their very best to let the animal know that the world don't suck.
Is within the natural realm. It is our nature to interact with the elephant, to keep him in captivity for education. It's nature. All this we're talking about is within the natural realm. Working myself into her head. Come. Good girl. Here. Steady. Good girl. Take it. No. Take it. Good. I was never an animal person. I didn't grow up with, let's go ahead and be an animal person. I wasn't a pet person when I was younger. Good. Steady. Nikki, come. Steady. Which pivot we working on? Nikki, come. And I grew up in the Washington, D.C., Bethesda area because my father was engaged to work there with the government. He was treasurer of the Democratic National Committee. He was a corporate attorney later on. He had gone to Harvard Law School. My mother went to Radcliffe. So, of course, there were great aspirations on my parents' part that I would go and continue and do what my father did and go to law school. But obviously, I didn't do that. If you have a strong fear of the elephant, innately deep in your heart, you shouldn't be around them. They will kill you. This is my personal experience. I know personally 8 people that have been killed by elephants. People who were my friends, sitting here. One guy I knew for 8 years. Another friend of mine, I knew him for 15 years. I mean, I know a lot of people that got killed by elephants, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's serious business.
He's going to drop the stress level with all the staff members and our elephants. He is going to provide us a safe approach to handling elephants.
I don't trust those chains. Do you have another chain that I can put on her front leg so she can't turn around? I think she's going to slip that back chain. Do you have a piece of rope? That's the only thing that's keeping her right now from turning around and trying to hit me. If she was loose in here, what do you think she would do?
Steady. No.
The only buffer you have between that elephant killing you is what? control. All right, over. Push her head over like this. Get her way over like this. Over. Good. Steady. Come. Come. Left is here, and this is here. Good. Steady. I have a good product. That is a better way to handle the animals. It's rational, reasonable. It's logical. It works, not because I am a good trainer or a better individual, but because I just follow the rules that bring about the conditioned response better. Try like this. I'm not saying you can't do it. Watch, I'll do it backwards. Over. Steady. Come here. Steady. Move up. Steady. Over. Steady. I'm turned all the way around and I can do it. Left-handed, hook backwards and still get her to do it. What I do is not mean or cruel. Sure, I use the hook. It's it's adversive stimulus. Don't I have adversive stimulus in my life? Don't I want to avoid or escape the bill collector coming so I pay my bills? Don't I want to avoid or escape a heart disease? That's adversive stimulus. Something I want to avoid or escape, so I exercise on a regular basis. When I tell people you're going to use martial art with the elephant, I don't mean martial art. I mean you're going to use this theory of standardization. Steady. Move. Steady. Over. I want the man to get over. I can push his head like this. I keep moving his head, and what happens? His body eventually has to follow. The same thing with the elephant. I want the man to come here. I do the same thing. I pull the jaw, where the head goes, the rest of the body must follow. The elephant's the same. Over. Over. Good. You see that? She didn't go forward that time, right? Good. I am safer standing behind the man than I am in front of the man. If I can gain control from there, that is the ability to guide or direct, I'm in a safer position. Many people will say, but I can't control them from there. That's right, they can. They don't have a system. Things like this, I won't allow in my presence. That, if I tell her to stop it, she should stop it. Does that? No. But you get what I'm saying? Now, she wants to get off the chain. Is she gonna try to pull the chain? You should have the ability just to go, no. Good, steady. See that? Trunk. Steady. It says in the Bible, God gave man domain over all animals. I sort of believe that. We are the most intelligent. That doesn't mean we always make the most intelligent decisions, but we are the most intelligent, and again, we're managers sort of the rest of the planet. All right, good girl. It's not hard. It's not rough. That's as rough as it gets, folks. You just saw it. There's no secret to it. That's it. But why? My hook is very, very sharp. At any rate, I'm done with her.
That one's hers. Don't pop her. You're rotten. You're so rotten. You're rotten. You hear me? You are a rotten girl. You're a rotten child. You are rotten to the core.
I've been in love with elephants since I was born, and my father used to take me everywhere to see elephants, and he was always upset because they were chained. And I think by the time I was 6 or 7, I already knew what was wrong.
That's called a zerbet.
Well, she was show business, you know. I mean, she was flashy and a good performer.
I worked on a TV series called Doctari, Gentle Ben, Flipper. I learned from all the old elephant trainers. A circus elephant trainer taught me how to use a bull hook and how to work with elephants, but I could never do it because I just, deep down inside, I knew I wasn't going to be able to dominate an elephant.
So she's left all that behind. No more show business. It's mud boots and sweatshirts now.
Poor little girl. What? And the poor one, yes.
Some people were meant to be parents of human animals, and some people were meant to be parents of non-human animals.
There's one for you. One for you. I didn't have any more. No. Let me see.
Elephants are not normally aggressive. This is an animal who only wants to love you. And when you constantly do all these negative, violent acts to them, of course, they're going to finally get to the point where all they want to do is hurt somebody. Whatever I have to do to get it better for animals, I don't care. You know, if somebody is going to beat up an elephant or choke it or choke a tiger or abuse an animal and I can expose it, it makes me feel real good. I really do want to thank all of you for coming here. This year, many individuals and foundations have helped us in our efforts to alleviate the suffering of captive elephants.
I'll never forget how Pat put it to me when we were there. When you see an elephant get up on its hind legs and, salute with its trunk and do all things, these animals are not born that way. Animals do not, don't have these Fosse-esque instincts to jump up and start performing. They have to be behavior modified and very often beaten and kept under horrible conditions and very cruelly to do that. And so whenever you see animals in performance, you have to assume that an overwhelming number of them are doing that against their will.
It's amazing to most of us who work with elephants and understand elephants that more elephants don't kill people. And all the animals in shows, their life is horrible. I go look at these little traveling shows, a pygmy hippo in a yucky little tub of water. I mean, this is a magnificent animal, and it's reduced to that. And then all the PR is learn about animals, that we're educating the public, that we love the animals, we really care about them. They're hypocrites. And they're hypocrites in the worst way, because when things occur and people find out that they've hurt animals, then the public really is disappointed, depressed, upset, and it's very wrong. Ethically, it's wrong. Morally, it's wrong. It's wrong in every way.
1, 2, 3, pull. There you go. Come on, guys. There you go. You buster. You got her moving now. Come on, guys. Pull a little bit harder. Put your backs into it. Let's go. Come on, guys. She's winning.
I think Walt Disney was one of the most wonderful people in the world, but when he made the movie Dumbo, a lot of people's minds stick to that, and they think that they're just real fun and neat and cute, and they are fun, neat, and cute, but they're alive, man. They're not wind-up toys. I more or less walked out of a jail cell into the ranch.
Chris came in and he said, I really like the elephants, and I know you don't have anybody to take care of them. Would you give me the chance? This is a young man who was a Hell's Angel. We'd gotten him out of a little trouble every now and then. And we thought, okay, all right.
She sort of went, well, you know, you got to know what you're doing. And I went, well, I'll prove to you that I'll figure out how to do this. I slept in the barn for a long time. And as I slept in the barn, I'd sit there and figured, okay, the only way these things are going to really know me is I got to show them that I'm interested. And you can't just sit there and tell an elephant, I'm interested in you, because they're not going to understand. So I slept in that barn every night and tried to figure out, what do they need? Everything needs something, and what do these two need? If it's 100 degrees outside and I'm sweaty and I'm hot and I'm bothered, and you give me a popsicle or an ice cream or something, it's good, man. It is, I mean, it's just good. Well, they're standing in the same heat. The bugs are more around them than they are me. And so walk up and give one of them a popsicle or an ice cold Coke or a Pepsi or tea, anything like that. They love it. They love it. And then in the wintertime, when it's freezing and I don't even want to go outside, well, they're outside. So then if I'm going to go outside and do something with them, bring them a cup of hot chocolate and see what an elephant does. I mean, they appreciate it. Here. See, and just like everybody in the morning, man, I mean, why not have something to eat? Here. Have a Reese's. She gets the other one.
These two and Chris make probably the happiest combination of beings that I've ever seen. I mean, it's thrilling to watch what he does with them and how he does it, because he doesn't use force at all with it. He talks to them, and I think they understand absolutely everything he says.
Hora! Hold it. Hora! Hold it. Move up, Hora. Move up, Hora. Hold it. Move up, Hora. Move up. Hold it. Trunk. Get your foot up. Foot. I had Timbo way out in the riverbed, and I came up to a spot where I could get home, but he had to go straight up a 15-foot cliff. And it was a dirt cliff that the river had washed out before. And I climbed to the top of the cliff, and he's down at the bottom, and he's looking at me. And I couldn't really see any other way to get home, but I knew if I would have just kept walking, I could have figured something out, but God knows how long that would have taken. So he's standing at the bottom of this cliff, and I went, come here. And he looked at me, and I went, I'm serious, come here, move up, Timbo, move up, just come here. And he looked at the cliff, and he took his head and he started working at the dirt and working at the dirt, and the dirt came down and he made like a little shelf and he got both front feet up in it. And then he sort of wallered on the hill so he could get his body on it. And after 15, 20 minutes, this elephant is plastered straight up and down on this hill. And he took his head and took his nose, and I thought, oh God, he's gonna go backward. And he threw it over the cliff and he bit it. He just clamped down on it. And he kept moving and kept moving and kept moving and got his feet working. And he climbed that cliff for me. And that, I mean, that blew my mind. I could not believe that elephant went straight up a cliff because I said, come here. Try leading anything, you're gonna have to pull it and tug on it and everything else. But if you try walking beside it, it'll walk with you. It'll just sort of walk with you.
Presence. It's getting real close to God when you're there.
Everything we're doing is within the natural realm. It is our nature to interact with the elephant, to keep him in captivity for education. It's nature. All this we're talking about is within the natural realm.